Hello, my name is Grace Carroll and I'm here to talk to you about wardship and catastrophic injury cases. After such a case is resolved, an application may be made to the High Court to have the plaintiff become what is known as a ward of court. This will occur in one of two circumstances. The first being if the plaintiff is a minor who has complex care needs, and the second is if the plaintiff is an individual who does not have mental capacity and is deemed to be incapable of managing his or her own affairs. The purpose of bringing someone into wardship is to offer a court protection of a vulnerable individual's compensation and property. Typically when a minor, i.e. someone who is under the age of 18 years, receives financial compensation as a result of legal proceedings, that minor will not be made a ward. Instead, their money will be lodged into the court and will remain there and held on their behalf until they reach the age of 18 years. However, if a minor receives financial compensation as a result of their catastrophic injury case, then an application for wardship will be made. It is likely that the minor has complex needs, and the aim would be for their compensation to be used immediately to pay for private care hours, private therapies, and their ongoing maintenance. The Office of the Wards of Court will be able to facilitate those payments being made out on a regular basis. Once that minor reaches the age of 18 years, they will then be discharged from wardship, provided that they are deemed to be capable of managing their own affairs. As mentioned earlier, if an adult receives financial compensation as a result of their catastrophic injury case, and that adult does not have mental capacity, then an application for wardship will also be made. The individual solicitors will present information to the court in respect of their medical condition, assets, and next of kin. After reviewing the medical information available, the court must be satisfied that the individual does lack mental capacity and is deemed to be incapable of managing his or her own affairs before the court will bring that individual into wardship. In the case of both minors and adults, the court will appoint a person known as the committee to act on behalf of the ward. This person will typically be a parent or guardian, a close family member, or next of kin. If there is no suitable person to act as committee, the court may appoint the General Solicitor for Minors and Wards of Court to act as the committee. A case officer from the Office of the Wards of Court will also be appointed to the ward. The committee and case officer will work closely together to manage the affairs and funds of the ward. The committee can regularly contact the case officer to request for the release of funds for the day-to-day care and maintenance of the ward. It can also be arranged for a set monthly figure to be paid out of the ward's compensation to the committee to cover the costs of the living arrangements of the ward, the private care hours, therapies, and equipment. The committee can also liaise with the case officer in respect of accessing the ward's compensation to pay for big ticket items such as housing and specialist equipment. Consent of the President of the High Court would be required for the release of such funds, and the case officer will help to arrange that application. Importantly, it should be further noted that if an individual becomes a ward of court, then the court will offer its protection for other matters relating to the ward. For example, consent of the court would be required for any future proposed medical treatment for the ward, consent would be required for the ward to marry, and furthermore, consent would be required for the ward to travel outside of the Republic of Ireland. The case officer will help to arrange for that consent to be provided. The laws pertaining to wardship in Ireland are very dated, and as you can probably tell by now, if an individual becomes a ward of court, then they will lose some of their personal liberties. So the decision to make someone a ward is a very serious one, particularly when it is the case of an adult becoming a ward and not a minor who will simply be released from wardship once they turn 18 years old. A new law has been made in Ireland to replace the current system. However, it has not yet been enacted, so unfortunately the current system still applies. If you have any further queries in relation to wardship, you can see our article, which is available on our website, or alternatively, please feel free to call us anytime or send us an email. Thank you for watching.